Hi, you guys. We're live. Thank you. Thank you. Just had a couple things I wanted to do real quick. That was my fault, but we're here. Let me go look at the chat real quick while notifications are going out. I'm just going to do a little housekeeping and say hi to everybody. Beth is here, Amy.
Yep, that's my aunt.
Ruthie's here. She was here earlier and she's here again. Hi, Beth. That's
Hello.
me. That's Regina saying hi. Hi, Mom. Hi, sweetie. Sky's here. Wait a minute. New England. I saw you. You jumped. New England. Hi. I just touched base. I just met her today and we followed her on Instagram. I am meeting her thanks to Regina. Thank you.
Yes.
So we are now friends and I'm going to be checking out and see what I saw she's got some cute posts. So I'm going to go check it out. Callie Lewis. I think I know who that is. I think I've seen that on your channel, Regina, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah. And let's see. And there's Amy saying hi to everybody. There's probably some more way up here. We'll just chat for a moment. Liz is here. Hi, my love. Colorado crew. The Thrifty Broad. Okay. I get that because probably Chick was taken and Diva, probably all the other ones were taken, I'm sure. Thrifty Broad. Right. Okay. That lets us know right now how to handle you. Like be nice. Don't try to take advantage of this one. We get it. I like that name. Okay. All right, you guys. We've got 44 here so far. Oh, Sue's here. So notifications look like they're coming out. Claire B. Hi. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, you're so cool. You guys, man, I don't mean to sound cocky. I get that a lot, but let me tell you. Okay, I know. Listen, I am 5'11" and a half. You might as well say 6 foot. So first of all, I'm tall. So I don't wear a lot of girly things because I feel weird. I wish I could. I can't wear high heels, so I feel a little weird. I do have some girly dresses, but I just don't. I am stuck in the 70s. I am rock and roll chick stuck in the 70s, married to a guy that rode a Harley all his life, an Air Force guy, Harley guy, yes. So I think, and my mom was a hippie. My mom had me very young, and she was a hippie. She came over from Germany in the 60s, became an American hippie through the 60s and 70s, and those are my influences. So I'm kind of stuck there. So I think I know where that sense is coming from. I think that's where it comes from. Well, hi, Cheryl. Cheryl, you are next on my agenda to come over and do something. Yes, let's see what the boys have today. They are very boho. One is Is that a photo print, Michael? What are you wearing?
I'm wearing a 1980s silk jacket.
Ooh, wow! Members only.
That's shoulder pads.
Shoulder pads.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. Gooch or something like that.
Gooch, like a Gucci dupe.
It says Gooch.
You guys are always fun, and you know. I'm going to confess. Okay, I'm older, so I can confess. I can flirt with them because I'm older. They're old. My daughters are their age, but they got Elvis vibes to me. I'm just saying.
I know, that's what everyone says.
Yeah, you guys got the Elvis vibe going strong. So, LaDonna's here. Hi, love. Hi, LaDonna. And Charlene. Hi, Charlene from California. So let's just give a few more minutes. Let's just talk a little bit because I don't want anybody to miss any important information. I was looking forward to this. This was so requested. I was going to do it a little later because George and Jocelyn were going to do it, but George is super busy right now. And when Amy and I were on Kat the Nurse Flipper's show, wait a minute, I have to say hi to somebody. Shar, hi. I've been following Shar for about 3 or 4 years myself. Hi, sweetie. Hi. Hey. You've kind of slowed down on your channel. It's kind of a roller coaster whether you post or not, but hi. What was I going to say? So Amy and I were on the Nurse Flipper Valentine's Day, and we were getting a lot of questions about booth talk. And Rod and Kat don't do booths, and we didn't want to take up their time. So we said, hey, we'll go ahead and book a booth talk. So I rounded up who else I wanted. I've always wanted to do something with Regina, and Regina runs a booth. And what I think they're going to like about Regina is a lot of people have full-time jobs. So now Regina has a full-time job, and she has full-time church life, like big church life. and family life, but she still runs a booth as best as she can part-time. So I thought that you guys would find fascinating. And the Thrifting twins, the reason I got to include them is 2 weeks ago, you guys finally made the jump. So we'll get to talk about that. Okay, so let me. Yeah, that's okay though. It is an interesting topic. And oh, hi Sunny. Hi.
Sunny,
Yes.
Sunny.
Regina is the best. I watch Regina's videos. I wish she could post more, but I totally get it. Now, I will confess, I watch when Regina drops a video, I save that for at night. Because if you watch Regina's videos, you know why. Regina talks nice and slow, and she's got that, I won't say ASMR voice because it's not creepy. It's just like so relaxing. And she always tells us, hi, beautiful people. She just like pours out the love. She talks nice and slow. And it's just her tone of her voice is just good. So it's a good winding down video to still be learning stuff, but to kind of start to clock out of reselling for the night. So yes, Sunny, I agree. Sunny, I would love to do something with you too, sweetie. And I saw one more person I want to say hi to. Hi, Colleen. All right, we are filling up. I hope I didn't miss anybody to say hi. Honestly, Ophelia, all your boosts in your bigger cities. Okay, let me see if I can star that and we'll get to it. Okay, you guys are saying hi to each other in the chat. If my mom is watching, hi, Mom. Hi. There's the sisters. We're going to go ahead and start, you guys. We're just going to do it round robin style, take questions. I have a few of the most common questions in mind. So if you don't mind, we're going to start with my question because this is a number one ask. So let's start with that one, and then we'll start taking in the chat. Listen, you guys, in the chat, if you will put like a bunch of question marks or some emojis that I can see or type in all caps, and I will try my best. Wait a minute. Yes. I put him on the spot. How could he say no with everybody watching?
Right?
Awesome, Sonny. Awesome.
Say yes.
No, Sonny is giving me a shout out. I can't thank him enough for that. Diana, hi, sweetie. Hi. Okay, we're going to start, you guys. So if you come in, I'm so sorry. I'll try to catch you. There's Kelly B. And I do want to say, Kathy, hi, my love. I hope you're feeling better. We love you. Okay? We love you, Kathy. All right. Not auction tonight. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with the first question. Each of us talk about how much, you may not be able to say exactly for privacy reasons. I don't know what your contract looks like, but each of us talk about how much per square foot our booth costs and what size that we currently have. So we'll start with Regina.
I don't know exactly what my square foot is, but it's like a medium size, and the cost a month is very economical. It's like $120 a month, which I think is awesome.
Yours looks like about okay, I watched you guys build your shelves. It looks like about a 10 by 10 or a 10 by 8, maybe 10 by 10. That's about an average size booth.
Yeah.
I can tell from watching her booth videos. So
okay.
I'm proud of them, but they are up there if you guys want to see them. Okay. Yes. Amy?
Yeah, I have two booths. They're both 10 by 10s. One's kind of a wonky size. It's like long. The other one's square. And then we had a third booth, same 10 by 10. My aunt has currently taken it over on her own. But when I talk about our spaces, I say we have 3 booths. So yeah, 10 by 10s. And we pay, it's all very flexible. The contract when you go into our place is based on whether it has a lockable case provided or not, whether you're going to pay a certain percentage commission. You can decide, and that will make your rent a little bit more or a little bit less. So I would say on average, we are about $150 per 10 by 10 space.
Okay. And Jeremy, Michael?
So we have a case. How many shelves are 4 shelves. It's 4 shelves. It's kind of a large case. We spend 120 a month. And it's right at the beginning. It's like a ramp where you have all the cases. And
It's on a nice corner. It's a good spot. It's a good location.
Right, it is. And we're open for a week now and already sold a couple things. So we're happy. Yeah. We picked
And I
up.
want you, and you can also see some of their booth and some of their video footage. All of us, we have specific booth videos, or they're incorporated in some of our thrifting videos or whatever, but you can find them and see what they look like. Okay, and as for me, my first booth is a 10 by 12, and it's on a corner. So where I'm at, the mall that I'm at now, prices according to location. Prime areas cost a little more per square foot than inner aisles. And then they also have a warehouse section that's a little bit more flexible on rules, where you can even just have like flea market stuff and whatever. And it's a little bit cheaper. There's not a lot of heating or air conditioning, but they do have big fans and everything. It's not uncomfortable, but to save money or to be able to sell whatever you want besides live plants and food, and off color sensitive items, then some people choose to go into the warehouse. And then I took a second booth, and it's a small shaped one that you've seen in my videos, and it's about $140 a month. It's like a 6 by 12. It's long and skinny, but it has wall space. I wanted wall space, real wall space, not like part of the building where I can put nails in and put my artwork up. So at where I'm at, it ranges from like $2, let's say $190 a square foot, I believe, anywhere to $245. If you want prime spot up by the fancy antique dealers, right when you walk in, things like that. My corner booth probably cost me a little more, but the exposure is awesome. Okay. And I also want to say I'm in Colorado. Regina?
I'm in Alabama.
Alabama. Amy?
Ohio.
And the boys?
New York.
New York. And take note, New York. Because if you notice in their videos, a lot of their thrift stores are a little pricier.
Oh, yeah.
And that's probably why their rent is a little pricier. But the flip side of that is, since everything's a little pricier, because they live in such a, more affluent area, so to speak, they can also charge a little more than what, like, some of us might be able to get away with. So it's kind of the same thing. It all kind of equals out.
And there's a lot of traffic.
Okay. I bet you we're gonna get questions like that. So let me say hi. It's a couple people that just walked in. Hi, Mike DeCray. Mike, you want to follow him on Instagram because Epic Picker. Oh my gosh. All right, so I starred some questions that I saw. Bear with me, you guys, while I go find these questions that I starred. You might have to put them back in if I miss it, okay? Don't be patient with me, okay? So if I missed one, be patient. I'm going to start with this one. Okay, this is off topic, but I kind of want to know too. This is off topic, so let's do this one. Claire wants to know, Michael and Jeremy.
Twin swap. Oh God, we did it in school before a couple times, and the teachers realized it, and we still do it to our parents, and they still realize it.
Definitely on the phone, I don't see how. You'd have to really know you guys to be able to tell on the phone. I would think.
Right. Sometimes we'll wear the same color shirt and they'll get us mixed up. Have to really pay attention.
Sean says you're echoing, Amy. I don't hear it.
I heard you echoing a lot in the beginning.
Okay, because I don't hear it.
Do I sound okay now though?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, let's see, Sky. So booth etiquette. What are your thoughts on buying from a booth in your mall and then putting in your booth for a bit more? I don't do this. It makes me feel icky, but it happens in my mall all the time. I'm going to drop it down so we can see Regina. Okay. Do you got it, Regina? And everybody, I'm going to drop it down.
Out in the booth etiquette part?
Yeah. There it is, hon. What are your thoughts on buying from a booth in your mall and then putting it in your booth to sell for more? I don't do this. It makes me feel icky, but it happens all the time in my mall.
No, I usually don't do that. If I buy something, I'm buying it for myself.
From other vendors?
Yeah, from other vendors, and I keep it.
Amy?
Yeah, all bets are off.
I know what Amy's going to say.
Well, and I think a lot of the vendors understand it too. If they put something in and they have it low priced for resale, they expect it to show up. There's a couple of vendors in our mall who are associated with the auction house that's also in our building, and they price their stuff so low because they know it's all going to get scooped up by the vendors. But there was somebody actually put out, this just happened this past Thursday when I worked, he put out this beautiful DeMott signed mid-century modern ship, brass copper ship on a marble base for $19.75, and he was still in his booth. And I just like scooped it up as I was walking past, like, I'm taking this. And I even joked with him later. I'm like, it might show up in my booth like today.
What was his response to that? I'm just curious.
He just said, yeah, he said he knew what it was worth, but he didn't want to ship it. And I thought, I can probably get closer to what it's worth here. I just don't think he had the confidence to, but he was fine with it.
Yeah. Boys?
Yeah, I don't think it would be. I wouldn't feel right doing that.
I want to try to make friends with the other vendors.
And if I did pick anything up, it would be for myself or somebody else.
Or sell it on eBay, maybe.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
But then I might feel a little icky.
If I was friends with them, I would text them, say this is worth a lot more. But right now we don't know anybody, so if I see something, I'll pick it up and resell that on eBay.
Because you've probably sourced there before you even got a booth. So there's no reason for you to have to stop.
Right.
If you don't feel comfortable putting it in I understand, especially like you said, you guys are new. Make friends first. Yeah, definitely make friends first. Don't come in flexing right off the beginning. Definitely, yeah.
We already made friends with a couple people already.
Yeah, we already have.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, so me, I'm kind of team Amy on this, but I will say something Mike, Jeremy just said is a touche. Ouch. Let me explain. You guys saw this on my video. Okay, I will buy things from other people in the booth because some people are quick flip. They want things in and out. That's how they roll. They buy a lot. They want it in and out. They know something might be that they might have underpriced something a little bit because they want it in and out. So for that reason, I don't think it's a problem. Now, but I am careful. I did buy something recently, a booth that is 50% off. I have not put it in my booth, but that is what I bought it for because it's a glass bar set, so I'm not shipping it. But what I'm going to do is wait a while. Okay, I'm going to wait a while. And then for all they know, I found one myself. And plus, I think she might be leaving, is why she was having a 50% off sale. So I'm going to kind of wait and see. But now, what a confession I do want to make, because Michael brought this point up. Jeremy. I bought those Blanco glasses. Did you guys see that? Amy, I know you did.
Mm-hmm.
I happen to have just met her. She works at a thrift store, which is a whole different topic. But anyways, and I bought them. She had them marked down. She didn't know what they were. She had them marked down 4 of them for $12.50. As you know, they sell for about $20 a piece. And these were red too. Red and cobalt sells for more. And I've already sold 2 of them. I sold 2 of them already to Ruthie. I gave her $15, a little under the going price, and I'm keeping the other 2. But I did kind of feel a little bad about that because that's a new friend that I just made. And so actually when I went to that thrift store, she was working. I called her out from the back, I politely, and I told her, and she said it was okay, but the look on her face kind of said a little, I'm a poker player, so I could tell the body. I'm like, oh, darn it. And so you know what I did? After I checked out, I went back and I got $5. I had $5 bill in my purse. And I went back and said, can you get Julie again? And I said, Julie, can I buy you a Starbucks today? I said, that ain't no way to start a friendship. From now on, we traded phone numbers. And I said, from now on, if I see something you don't know about yet, I'll give you a call, just like I would Becky or any of my other close friends. I would give, like what Michael and Jeremy said, you know, if it's somebody you know, you help them out. So that's my stance. It kind of depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody want to add to that?
No, the one thing that you had mentioned is the quick flip, but also the guy that I took this big boat from, his booth is so crammed full of stuff, and it was a large item, so he was happy to see it go real quick.
Yeah, right.
And I'm, you know, my booth is going to be way better for it.
He sounds like one of those flippers that is just addicted to the buying and selling and just wants things in and out, get it moving. Because some people are like that. They don't like things. You're probably going to hear if somebody asks, how long before we move stuff out? I bet you that question will come up and we'll talk about that. Okay, so where was the other one? I saw another one. Roughly how long? Let me see. Okay, we did that one. Let me unstar it. You guys bear with me. Let me unstar this, and I see Liz's Colorado crew. Roughly how long should you have in rent? 2, 3, 6 months, etc., to prepare before you start making profit? Roughly how long should you have, to cover, before you take on that venture? Before, like, in case you stay in the red. The red's the bad color, right? In case you stay in the red for too long. Okay, I'll let Regina go with that one first. I don't know how to drop it down.
Well, for me, since I haven't been selling that long, for 2 years now doing it, and I started during the pandemic, so it wasn't a whole lot of traffic coming in.
Wow, Regina. That's right, you did. Mm-hmm. Yes, you did.
And for me, I don't use really my booth for a whole lot of profit. I use my booth because I guess to help with my hoarder, because I hoard a lot of stuff, and I use it to put things in that I don't want to ship, like glass items, big items. I use my booth for that. And so now my friend, he has 3 booths at Irondale Pickers, and I don't think it took him that long because he doesn't work anywhere. He does reselling full time. For me, I do it part time, so I just use it for storage and to put items in that's really big.
Yeah, and if the question doesn't come up, I'm going to tell you guys something about Regina that I learned about Regina. Okay, Amy.
Yeah, our first month was probably one of the best. I mean, when you first move into a booth, all the vendors are looking at your stuff because you're brand new, and all the regulars are kind of flocking to it because it's brand new. So you're gonna, hopefully, if you've done a little bit of work and you've got stuff priced right, you're gonna have a good start. That was our experience both times. When we set up the second booth, it was the same thing. Everybody kind of flocked to it, and we saw good returns. So I don't know that having rent ahead of time is, if you're depending on your booth to make your rent, that's a whole different conversation, I think, that we should talk about.
Boys?
Yeah, right now is considered a slow month because of the weather. So we would wait till after summer to see if we make a profit.
Yeah.
So
like the middle of summer, I would say.
You guys remember on the Thrifting Twins, they just got a case 2 weeks ago. So some questions they might have to be like, talk to you next booth talk episode and tell you how it went, because they just got it. But probably what I'm going to say is probably their answer too. For me personally, and I bet you for them, I didn't worry about having so much money bankrolled to cover rent for a few months in case I didn't sell enough, because I'm on so many different platforms that if I needed to borrow from one to cover another, it's all going to come out at the end of the month. I know about how much I'm going to make, bar finding something epic, according to how much time I've spent working all these different platforms. So probably Michael and Jeremy, you probably didn't worry too much about, we can't get a booth yet until we have $500, 2 months rent.
Uh-huh.
Say, yeah,
The
because
evening
and plus
work. So
they have secular jobs, part-time secular jobs
Yeah.
too. So they took the chance, knowing, just like me, knowing based on experience, it's not if it's going to work, it's when. It's like, I'm doing this, like this is going to happen, this is going to work, because I will figure it out. I think that's how all of our mindsets probably were, and that's what yours should be too. But I do understand your question, Liz, and I happen to know Liz personally, so I know she's local, and I know that she works, and she is on a tight budget, so I understand your question. So for you, and this will come up in a question I'm sure that we'll be answering, when you go to do a deal, you want to make sure that it's month to month. You want to know all your restrictions. I'm sure we're going to go into that one by one further down the road, because someone's going to ask us that, okay, about contracts, I'm sure. So, all right. And Sean, hi, Sean. I hope you're feeling better. I hope your knee is slowly healing, or not slowly. You know what I mean? Hi, Regina. Can you talk about what you know now, or how you did it, and what you know now, and give some advice on that, finding a booth?
I would definitely want to get a booth that's close to the city, where a booth, an antique mall that has a lot of traffic where people go to. Because I see some that's just sitting out where nobody never comes. And I was like, I would never get a booth right there, because don't nobody drive by there. But I would definitely get one where a lot of people is going, where it's a lot of traffic, where people can see it. And also the way it looks. I'm a person, I like the way things look. Like if the antique mall doesn't have a good look, I wouldn't want to go in there. But the antique vendor, the antique mall that I have, it's very nice, and everything is set up so eloquent. So
They keep it clean and things like that.
very clean.
Yeah. Amy, you want to continue on with that?
Yeah, but I want to tell Mary she can't have my lamp. She's looking at my lamp. Anyway,
Mary,
can't see that.
Mary, who I can't scroll down because I'll miss
365 vintage hunter.
Oh, Mary. Hi, Mary.
All right, so this question, it can be deep, because finding the place, Regina's absolutely right. You have to have traffic. The very first place that we went was a really beautiful Victorian house. We were on the second floor, and stop coming for my raccoon too. We were on the second floor, and it was horrible. It was a horrible experience. I won't get into personal things, but just even being on the second floor and trying to schlep all this furniture and merchandise up and down to these staircases that were, old, crazy, big, steep.
No elevator.
No elevator.
You guys write that down on your list.
Yeah. And then there wasn't like access to vendors there, because the people who owned it were the ones that worked there all the time. So we really didn't see anybody else or know what the turnover rate was, how many people had been there, for a long time, what their success was, which was really important when we started looking for a different location. We did a hunt. I mean, we went and visited multiple locations and talked to people and asked them a lot of questions, because we had then known for that first year and, losing money pretty much the whole year, what we didn't want. So we knew the questions to ask. Which is why this is so valuable, because you're hearing it now. Go ask questions. Go ask about the rent. Go ask about what they expect you to do outside the rent. Go ask other vendors what their experiences are with management, with other vendors, with theft, with everything that you can imagine. Talk to them. We talked to people in our antique mall who had been there since the very beginning, like 18 years ago, this place opened. Actually, at this point, 20 plus years. And we asked them, what is your experience? And we heard good feedback from people who had been there for 18 years at that point. And that was one of the reasons why we said, this is where we're going to go. So I would suggest do your homework, find out about the traffic, and find out about the environment there, and ask all those questions up front.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jeremy and Michael, you guys, this is fresh for them. So really, they can tell you what they just did.
Yeah, just what you guys said. The traffic is definitely important.
Yeah, we're right off the interstate, near Albany, which is a big city. So we thought that was important. We almost got a booth at a different location,
Yeah, not too far from here.
but every time we went, there was nobody there shopping. Staff wasn't too friendly. So
Yeah.
the booth we're at now, we asked around other vendors how was sales, and the staff was very friendly.
And every time we're there, there's people coming in and out. Not a ton of people, just like normal, steady traffic.
Yeah. A lot of people buying stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Yvon, we can't hear you.
I went to grab YouTube so I could actually see the rest of the chat since I'm holding space in this chat to not lose questions. I'm going to see what they're talking about over there. All this and more, you guys. This was all great experience. Some of it, what I did is I talked to other people that I knew in the YouTube reselling community that had booths. I talked to George the Antique Nomad. I can't remember who else. It's been about 3 years. And I talked to them first, now when it comes to George, you guys know he's super busy. So be conscious of his time. I did it. It was during COVID lockdown and he wasn't doing shows. So he had time to kind of talk to me a little bit about it. And then I did everything that they say, like location. Is there foot traffic? How busy is this place? What days are they open? One mall I was in previously, they closed on Monday and Tuesday. I'm like, what? The one I'm at now, is open. I mean, if the rent's cheaper and you're okay with that, because those are typically slower days. But, the one I'm at now is open every day, 10 to 7 or 10 to 6. And I think Michael and Jeremy's is open 10 to 8 every day. I wouldn't mind for mine to be open a little later in the summer, but I don't think they do that. And I wanted to know what kind of advertising, are they on social media? Mine is. As a matter of fact, I'm helping to run the Facebook and Instagram social media for them.
Oh, wow.
What else? Okay, that question was just about finding one, right? Because I don't want to get too much into it. So the foot traffic, everything everybody said, the foot traffic, the cleanliness, how friendly, be a buyer. How friendly is the checkout? Because that will turn people off. When we're out spending money, it's an experience. These days, spending our money is a happy experience too, for the most part. We want it to be. That's part of our fun. So it's a real bummer when you get pardon my French, a crappy cashier or something that just just ruins the final ending of your beautiful shopping experience by just being rude or just can't wait to get off work, won't even look you in the eye. You're bothering them, so you want to know all these things. You want to know. Mine has cameras everywhere and they do monitor it and they'll make printouts. They catch you doing something funny at my mall, they will make a printout and they will plaster those printouts for all of us to see and keep an eye out for you. Okay. You're not going to get away with it too many times at my mall. So you want to know about that. You guys, can you think of anything else now that I'm talking? Anything else to add?
Yeah, you brought up a great point because I've seen somebody in the chat say that they're in the middle of nowhere and so they're not sure about getting a booth. But if a place can be a standalone in the middle of nowhere if they're doing good work in advertising, marketing to drive traffic. Yeah. So visit at different times, different days, so you can see what the traffic is and ask those questions that Yvon was talking about. What kind of social media do they have? Are they spending money anywhere to drive traffic? Because it's possible to drive traffic to a place in the middle of nowhere.
That's true. Because I even drive traffic from Facebook Market. I'll take pictures of all of my items and I put it on Facebook Market. And in the description, I will tell them that they can go to this booth and I give them the address and the location. And I made a lot of profit like that.
That was the mic drop I was going to say if it didn't come up. I was going to say, I learned from Regina and I'm like, duh, why did somebody even have to tell me this? Yes. And so I know this goes under something different, but we'll say it now since we touched on it. I wasn't going to let this slide under the radar before the show was over. Yes, Regina advertises her things on Facebook Marketplace, and instead of dropping the money on her front porch, you just go pick it up and pay for it at the booth, right? Or pay for it some other way and then pick it up. That is brilliant. And that is definitely something I need to start doing. And I do have plans on doing.
Yeah.
So back to the other question. There was one more thing. Oh, yeah. And to prove Amy's point, so a lot of you watch like Jocelyn, Crazy Lamp Lady, Kate, Follow That Bug Vintage. How often, because they live in, like, take Jocelyn, Kate just moved, but previously she lived in a smaller town of Pennsylvania too. You know, she used to work for Jocelyn. So both of those girls, we would see on their videos, you know, oh, I just drove an hour to go to this Goodwill and go to this, you know, epic mall that I always find something good. So yeah, it doesn't necessarily take it off. Don't necessarily wipe it off your list. Do what Amy says and see, you know, they might get more traffic than you think, especially if it's the only one around,
Right.
especially if it's close to a state border or a highway. So
Yeah, check and see how long they've been there, because that is very telling.
yes,
You can't be open more than like 3 or 5 years max if you're not making money. So check and
oh my
see how
gosh,
long they've been
if
there.
they survived the 2020 and 2021, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what Ruthie says. How long would you sign a booth contract for? Okay, so now we'll all talk about our different contracts. So, Regina?
Mine is yearly.
But you pay monthly.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna have, cause see, I did a lease. My friend started leasing me his booth first, and so I signed. Yeah, and so then I took over the booth, and so I think I just signed it once and then one time.
But are you saying, are you committed for the year?
Yes.
Okay, you're committed for a year, but you pay your rent monthly.
Yes.
Okay. Amy?
So I believe in our mall, if you come in at a certain time, they want you to commit a chunk of time. So if you're trying to come in around the holiday time, they want you to commit to like 3 months, because they don't want you to just pop in the month that everybody makes their money and then disappear. But ours is month to month. So you could go in the summertime, give it a shot. If it doesn't work, you could leave. But if it works, then you can stick around. You pay month to month, and there's no long-term contract needed.
And Amy, will you continue on with this about the options you have at your mall? Because you have different options for rent.
Yes.
So can you talk about that? This is a good time.
Yeah, we don't have like what Jeremy and Michael are talking about, cases. A lot of like antique malls and stuff have those rows of cases. We don't have that. We just have vendor shops. There's 150 booths, and they're either that 10 by 10 or they're double booths, which is a 10 by 20. And they're all priced according to the size of them and whether or not they have a case. But the contract that you sign, you get to decide what commission you want to pay, and that will affect the price of your rent as well. So it was interesting because I actually did all the math after 6 months, because you can adjust it after you figure it out. We're at, I think, a set 15% commission, which puts our rent, I think I said, at about $150 a booth. And it's a little less without a case. So
But you work, you do volunteer work.
Yes, but we also, every booth you have, you work a day. If you get 2 booths, you have to add another 2 days. So we have 3 days for 2 booths
per month, not week.
Per month, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's convenient because my Aunt Beth and I do it together, so we split that time. So I'll work, one day 1 month, 2 days the next. And now that she has 2 booths, she's doing 2 days 1 month, and 3 days the next. Something like that, because there's 4 total. But yes, some malls require you to come in and do some work. And you have to do.
So let's back up to Regina. Does yours do that? I know, no, because you wouldn't have time, girl.
No, they manage everything, which I am so glad. We have to all put our booth number and an initial. So when someone buys an item, we don't have to be there. So when they buy the item and they take it up to the cashier, they just, take their percentage out.
What is the commission? I forgot to ask you that.
It's 12%.
12%. Is there a credit card fee?
The credit card is 12%, and I think if you pay cash is 10%.
Okay, so they don't charge you an extra credit card to run credit card fees. It's rolled into the 12% commission.
Yes.
Is your credit card fees rolled into the commission that they take, Amy?
They're separate.
So
we get charged when I consider what is going to be taken out when I'm pricing stuff. I consider 20%. So 5% for credit cards and 15% commission.
Okay, so you guys are noticing all the differences, right? To take notes, to think about these questions you want to ask, because it matters. You know how much you can get things for. You know your area, maybe how much, or have an idea what you might can sell things for. So these kind of questions you do want to know when you're making your decision. Jeremy and Michael, ours
is
how long would you sign a how long is your contract? Do you have to work? What's your commission? Credit card fees? No.
Ours is a month-to-month contract. No long-term commitments, which I really like.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is our first one.
And their commission is 12%. And they take out the sales tax. There's no credit card fee.
Okay.
But to sign a contract, I would say, because that was going through my head when we wanted the booth. I think I would do it a year and at least try it. So you have to try it, see if it'll work.
So you are kind of committed to a year, like Regina, but you pay month to month.
No, it's just month to month.
Month to month. Okay. Yeah. So far, none of us have been required to commit to a year. I don't know if very many people would do that. That's a long time.
That would be.
Okay, so what they want is they want a 3-month commitment, but you don't have to pay up front. And the reason they want that is because you need to give yourself, doing you a favor. If you're not serious minded, you need to give yourself that time to get things fleshed out. And then after that, all you have to do is give a 30-day notice. Month to month, you have to give a 30-day notice. I'm assuming everybody here, it's a 30-day notice if you're going to move out. 30 days. Okay. And mine is 10% commission, and they cover the credit card fee. So that's part of the 10%. I don't have to pay them extra. And they collect sales tax and remit it on my behalf. Yes. Or, because we kind of fall under them. So they also remit sales tax. Do you guys, they remit sales tax, Regina? They handle sales tax too?
Yes.
You even have it in your state. I think you do.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. All right. So I think we covered most of that. So let me find another one. Bear with me, you guys. Let's see. Regina is okay. I don't know. Okay, that was a different to somebody else. I'm looking for questions, you guys.
Did you catch Mary's super chat?
No. Oh gosh. Hang on, I'll do that.
It was a bit ago. Go back to 7:36.
Okay. Let me find it, you guys.
You want me to click on it?
Yeah. Do you know how to? Yeah, you have superpowers. Do that for me.
Superpowers.
Oh, okay. So you guys, we got to pause for a minute. We're going to give her a thank you. Mary, you're such a sweetheart. You guys are following Mary, aren't you? She's starting to, as best she can, put out videos for us. She is in, Mary, Washington or Minnesota. Put that in the comments. Either Washington or Minnesota. Somewhere up there where it's a little chillier. Let me find one to give her. Okay. There we go. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mary, my love. So I hope you guys will check out Mary and her channel as well. And I'm trying to find questions, you guys. If you can help me. If you see one, Jeremy. ETL flippers. See, they're talking to each other. You guys are helping each other. I love that. Okay. Wait a minute. I don't know what happened. Marty, I don't mind if someone dies. That to me in my store. Oh, buys. Okay. Okay. I was like, okay. Judy. Hi. Hello from Toronto, you beautiful people. Yes. Thank you.
And I forgot, our booth, they take 12% every month, but there's a minimum $50. That's as high as they take. Maximum.
Oh, wait, that's interesting. That's a new one on me. So of your commission, once they, okay, you mean if an item, no, like if you sold like a couch set for $1,000, they're only going to take the commission
50%.
up to $50.
Yep.
And other than that, they're fine with that.
Once it reaches 50, they don't take anything.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if I have something like that. I don't sell that high-end items, but that's an interesting point. I hope you all caught that. That's an interesting point. Okay. I'm just looking for questions, you guys. I'm so sorry.
It's crazy how different all of them are. Because I was just reading my friend Marty, and she said she doesn't. She has to work 2 days, but she doesn't have. They don't take. They're 100%. She gets 100%, but she does have to pay credit card fees. So it's like it's all over the place. It's so interesting to hear everybody else.
Very interesting. Yeah. Be watching the chat too, you guys, because you're getting some different experiences. Credit card fees usually are somewhere around, just like PayPal, usually somewhere around 3%. But your place might charge 0.5% or something more just for the handling. I don't know, but it's usually not too much. But these days, you do, everybody wants to pay with their credit card, so it's kind of good. Let's see. Let me see what they're saying. One of the vendors I spoke to at Truvai said her best advice is to have 3 times rent of product at all times. Oh, yes. I see what you're saying, Liz. I would say minimum. Yeah, minimum. Definitely. So, yeah. Because depending on your cost of goods. Now, me personally, I get everything on the cheap. Some people buy things, pay a little bit more. They're buying from antique malls or auctions, and maybe they're paying up a little bit more. I personally don't do that. So my markup is usually pretty darn good, so that depends on how you're sourcing and pricing. Let's see, let's see what Lewis has to say. Yes, totally agree with that. Well, if I don't find a question, I know what to ask.
I saw Mal High Mom had a question, I think, of how often you go spinning the booth, restocking and rearranging.
Okay, we'll get that one next then.
Where is she?
First, thank you for your time. What is your favorite items to sell in your booths that do the best? Okay, we'll take this one and then we'll do the one Regina sees. See, I'm still way up.
Oh, okay.
I'm still way up there, but yeah, I'll find that one next. So, do you guys see this one before I drop it down? Favorite items to sell. Okay, now listen, and as we answer this, you guys remember, there are things some of us are more passionate about, and that adds love to an item, which seems to throw out good vibes in the atmosphere. Regina's in Alabama. That's a different, they might have subcultures that like certain things. I know your name. Amy's in Ohio. The twins are up in New York. Like, they could probably sell, okay, off the top of my head, they could probably sell Adrian, what's that wood stuff? Michael, Jeremy, Adirondack? Yeah. Like, you guys could probably find and sell that. I will never find a piece of that. I won't find a piece of that here. So Regina might in Alabama, because that's also popular, I think, in certain parts of the South. I don't know. Amy, do you ever see any of that kind of stuff? So
are you talking about like an Adirondack chair or something?
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like a sign.
Oh, yeah. Probably not.
Like rustic wood. type.
So we do lodge here in Colorado. It's similar, but it's lodge. So anyways, so as we answer these questions, you guys keep that in mind, okay? So Regina, what are you having the best luck with and the most fun in your booth?
I sell everything in my booth, especially during the summer times when I go to yard sales. I pick up a lot of pictures, a lot of home goods, and everything. I even sold church chairs, vanities, but a lot of pictures sell. I don't know a lot about glass, but all of my pictures that I put in sales, picture frames.
So let me add to this about Regina, because I've seen some of her videos and you guys might not have. Regina apparently is in a mall that does not require you to be just vintage. So because she sells whatever good, pretty, quality household items and whatever that she can find, home decor, and she's a big garage sailor and, flips it like that. And I'll talk about what I got going on when it's my turn. And so Amy?
Yeah, when I first started, and my aesthetic is boho, so when I first started my booth, I was trying to curate boho, which became very difficult because you want to make money. So one of the booths, the second booth that we opened, we called it Yoso Whimsical because it could just be anything, and it's full of pottery, and my aunt's got a section of like tools and rustic things and colorful things, and I've kind of got a little bit of our first booth kind of back to boho, but the other side of it is like kitchen stuff and linens and glass and rustic stuff. It's everything. Like, I'm not opposed to kind of fitting it in where it fits. But I would say stuff that sells best, rustic stuff sells really good out where we are. Like crates and boxes and tools and things like that. But I'm just testing about everything. In the boho booth right now, it's full of like Buddha and spiritual stuff and fun stuff like that. And I'm seeing success in selling things like incense and tarot cards right now. I just put them in thinking I just have a sense that they would do well, and I'm selling quite a bit of them. So that's cool.
And I like your theme. Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on just one moment. Your theme of boho is somewhat wide. It's somewhat generous right now. So that's a good.
Yeah. I love that you said that too, because boho, I think people over the last like 10 years, they've classified boho as something that's very kind of narrow, rattan and orange and brown. And like boho in my world is art. I want to surround myself with art, and the booth is if it has an art aesthetic, that's boho to me. So
anything artisan to me is boho.
Yeah.
Not just 60s, 70s vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sorry, Michael and Jeremy. Go ahead.
Okay. So where we are, I believe pottery will be the #1 seller. I think because most of the pottery is made down south. So everybody up north wants pottery. And then the time of year, like Christmas, Halloween.
All right. We just have I wanted to do a mix of different types of items, 'cause we have a lot of travelers that come off from the highway. So I say we do best if we have different types of items.
Yeah,
like folk art. I think it's too.
You guys can probably answer this question better on the next booth talk once you got a couple more weeks under your belt or months under your belt to see kind of what moves there. I didn't know it was right off the highway. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Like pictures, even men's or even women that like tools, like antique tools.
Lithographs are good where we are.
Linen. So
So I think what you guys are probably noticing is that some of us, we'll try to see. It takes a while to kind of learn what people are kind of looking for in your area or in that specific mall. But then again, the underlying, foundation, I still believe is always going to be, well, what do you, you have to keep your booth full to make money. So what do
Right.
you have access to, for a good price? And what are you passionate about? What do you like to look at and handle? Like, you know what I'm saying? What do you very quickly, you already kind of know the value. You don't have to spend it all the time looking it up. Like sometimes on eBay, we branch out and we're like, okay, I got to look this up and figure this out, and to list it and write keywords. So for me personally, I went in with glass. I do mostly glass and pottery out of my main booth and some jewelry. I want to, because I need to tell you guys this. Now, where I'm at, they try to keep a good ratio. So the warehouse, again, where it's a little bit cheaper rent, you can be a little bit more flea market, garage sale-ish. Where I'm at, I went in on because my booth my mall wants to curate vendors, for the overarching effect. They want to curate, a ratio of certain types of vendors. So on my application, I put vintage glass and pottery and, collectibles as my main niche. So that's how I got in, and that's how I got booth placement. So I need to honor that. Now I can go, I do go off a little bit. I've got a couple shelves of what I call American icons. And that's where I put my newer stuff, my Ray Dunn, my Kate Spade stuff, any of these designers that are making things that are trending, that's where I put that. And it's, American icons, even though it's probably made in China. But for the most part, I watch my ratio to make sure I have enough vintage, mostly vintage, to honor how I got in. I don't want to be tricky. And then the other booth I took because I wanted to sell artwork and some bigger, like end tables and chairs, cool stuff that I was seeing. So I got a second booth, little tiny one around the corner, to do that. So I kind of stick with what I like and what I quickly already have the experience for, not to say that none of us, I'm pretty sure I can say this for all of us, not to say that none of us aren't going to see something cool and say, okay, I don't know what this is, but I know quality when I see it. I'm going to learn about this. But for the most part, when you're busy, you do tend to lean toward what you know, what you love, and keep things rolling along that way. Do any of you have stipulations? Are any of you bound by a certain ratio of vintage? I know Regina's not. You're not. You guys, are you bound by a certain percentage of vintage?
Just vintage and antiques. Right?
Yeah, it leans that way. Okay. So you guys want to think about that. You can't, if your mall is like mine or like Jeremy and Michael's, you don't want to come in and go, yeah, I'm going to come in and sell, don't tell them what they want to hear. And then you can't deliver month after month. They'll switcheroo. That's not going to make them real happy, because these people also know how to run their overall business. They have experience, at least at my mall. It's been there 20 some years. People have been there forever, which, like Amy said, is a good testimony. They kind of know how they want to fill it out. They've learned a thing or two, so I'm going to trust them. Okay. So if I want to do, say, garage sale, things like that, I can do that, but I need to go rent a booth back in the warehouse, and I can do that. I can flip all these cool things I see, garage sales that are so affordable, like what Regina does. I can do that, but I just need to get a different booth in a different spot of the mall. That's all.
Right.
Okay, Regina, what did you see? Mary, somebody wanted, what did you see, hon?
It was Mal, hi, Mom. She's asked, how often do we go to our booths and rearrange?
Oh boy, some of us are gonna do this, like, okay, so Regina, go ahead.
Now, when I first started, especially during the summer months, I used to go to my booth at least once a week, and I try to load everything in there as much as possible. But when the fall and winter time come, I kind of slow down and go twice a month, and now it's been once a month because of my job and everything. But I do like to go in and rearrange everything, because when you rearrange something and put it where people can see it, people will buy things like that. And I like to change out the prices, because if I always even do, like I'm putting it on eBay, I list the item high, and just kind of see how it's going to go. And then I come back. If it doesn't sell, then I come back and then I lower that price, and people usually buy it. So.
And Regina, wouldn't you say once a month is probably the bare minimum that you can get away with?
Yeah.
I would say once, because I've had to do that a couple times, like when Pops died. That's, to me, in my opinion, that is the bare minimum, you guys.
Right.
And because I was to make any money. So
burning myself out.
Amy, what's your perspective?
So mine is a little different. I saw somebody even mention this. I live an hour away from where our booths are. We strategically put them near my aunt. My aunt and I live almost an hour away from each other, but she has more time to go over and address any issues and take care of things. And so she does a little bit more of the fluffing and stuffing. On the days that I work, I'm trying to get there early and jam some stuff in, and I try and get back another day during the month to do some additional stuff. It's not ideal because I think everybody would agree that the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. The more you move stuff around. I think Regina just said, if you just move something, and I talked about this in one of my recent videos, there's a whole marketing thing about how people look. If it's on a web page, people do things with their eyes. They look towards certain ways, right? So people who are regulars in a mall will go booth to booth, and they kind of do a little scan. And if they're scanning the booth and they're seeing the same things in those spots, they're going to move on because they're not going to look at anything else. They're going to say, oh, it's all the same. But if you take those main things, those bigger things that maybe your eye is landing on, and move it just a little bit or put it somewhere else, nothing else could have to change. But somebody who stops there and glances and does that little eye thing is going to go, oh, something's different here. And they're going to pause and take a little bit more time to look at what might other stuff be different, what might have changed. So it really makes a difference to move stuff around.
I would say we're going to try to move stuff around once every 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I'd say next time, which would be next week when we go in, there's a couple things I want to move around because it's up on the top shelf, even taller than we are. We're 6 feet tall. Next time we go in, I'm going to move a couple things around.
Nice.
What was the question?
How often do you want to move stuff around?
You guys are going to shoot for at least every 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're going to do it
every week.
I mean, because all of us do YouTube, other platforms. Most of us have other secular jobs too, or freelance. In Amy's case, me, I got wifey life too, and I've got family. I'm the good daughter. I've got family, and I'm flexible. So when it comes to family stuff, I'm kind of the one that has to go take care of it. I don't remember what the question was. But I am. Well, let me say this. I live in a medium-sized town, Colorado Springs, Colorado. My town is long and skinny along the mountain range. My mall, I live off a main strip academy, which goes from the Air Force Academy off the highway all the way down to the Goodwill bins on the other side of town. And my mall, all my thrift stores are off of it, and my mall is 15 minutes away. So I'm fortunate. I'm 15 minutes away. I hit my thrift stores, end up at my mall. So I have a very convenient setup. I realize how fortunate that is. My goal is at least once a week. When everything's like copacetic around here, I can hit it once a week. My mall is busy, and I've got 2 booths, and I thrift a lot, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm having a great time. So optimally, I like to pop in at least for half a day, few hours. It takes me more than I can't go in and just drag and drop because I've made friends. And my mall's active and vendors are active. So I always, end up talking to vendors or to the workers. And the reason you want to talk to the workers is, let me add this in real quick. This is what, you want to get to know people. When I first moved in there, I didn't have to buy anything and no shelf units or anything. I just went around and I said to the floor walkers who have the keys for all the showcases, I'm like, who's leaving? Who has showcases? Everything in my booths I bought at the mall. So you want to kind of walk around your mall and see who's leaving, see who has a sign on their showcases or their shelving. Sometimes you get really lucky. I've gotten really great deals. So that's just make friends. And I personally, at my mall, no one's allowed to go in through the front door as vendors. We have to go in through the docks, sign in, sign out. My mall is serious. They want to know who's there working their booths. If they haven't seen you for a while, the owner takes note of that. If you're not keeping up on your booth, he takes note, you guys, of that. So you want to know what you're dealing with. If you have limited time to get in, these are some questions, you might want to know how strict are they about coming in and fluffing up your booth, as Peter says. I just now thought of that because you guys didn't mention it, but I don't know how strict, do they kind of be like, well, Amy, you're there anyways. But the owner of my mall, he has booths too. So, he's dead serious about keeping that place active. So for me, once a week, no less than once a month. I think you just want less than once a month. If you want to do less than once a month, you're going to have to give George a little tip. Don't bother him for free. Give George the Antique Nomad a little tip, super chat or something. Now on his next live, ask me anything and ask him, how does he manage? Because, he has booths all across from here to there, from Florida to Pacific Northwest. So I know he's not going in once a month. Maybe he has partners. I don't know. But if you want to do something like that, I'm not your girl. I don't know if you guys I don't know, but I know the only person I know that does that so far is George the Antique Nomad. Again, you guys give him a tip out if you're going to ask, give him a little super chat if you ask him that. Okay, so let me see. I saw another one. Sharon. Okay. Aside from products for sale, what do you use for decorations? Plants, flowers, table runners, scarves, etc.
For me, I'm all about appearances. So I had some custom shelves made. I have a girlfriend that she can do anything with wood. So she made me these beautiful custom shelves, and I use that. So my booth looks different from everyone else's booths because of the shelves. And I like to use I bought some flowers to put up, but I haven't used them yet. And that's all I have right now is the shelves.
Yeah, I saw Jeremy say this too. I was the most excited about just setting up vignettes and like doing stuff to stand out. And our second booth is that. I mean, we put up white shelves along both sides. We did a real bright colored back wall. Everything pops because it's all sitting in these white areas and in these little cubbies. We used cinder blocks with shelves. So we have these little things peeking out of cubbies and stuff. You use your products, because if something's set up, like a shelf is set up or a piece of furniture set up and it's set up with the right things around it, somebody's going to envision it in their house and that's going to sell. I can't tell you how many things I've put on a wall that's like a unique kind of shelf and I've put cute things on it and the shelf disappears. Or mug racks. We always joke, plate racks and mug racks. They sell. The things come off of them and they disappear out the door. So everything is for sale. You use it all. Sell it all.
We don't have any decorations in ours.
No. But I'm thinking like every holiday I want to do something. I like to decorate, so I want to do something for spring, summer.
Yeah. We thought about doing a backdrop on the back of the case, but we also don't want to take away people noticing the products.
The visual aspect, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard you say that in your video, and I thought that would be a good idea, but it will be tricky to get the right, like, wallpaper just to stick back there and change it out everyone. It will be a little tricky, but
So I was
no,
thinking,
again, you guys, they have a case so far. They don't have a booth, but I bet you they'll end up with a booth. But so far they have a case, but you guys could do stuff on top, I guess.
Yeah, on the sides, maybe like garlands,
yeah,
flowers.
Yeah.
And again, it's only been a couple weeks for the boys, okay, you guys. So they can tell you how that went, how that journey went.
Put a price tag on that garland, though.
True.
It will sell.
Which is exactly the point. What I'm going to say, I do try to add a few touches for holidays. Like I did add a few things hanging there, but look like they came from the Dollar Tree, but I bought them from the thrift store, but inevitably somebody wants to buy things like that. So I just do the cheap stuff that looks kind of cute, but I don't want to take up too much space because that real estate costs me money every square foot. I need to put something in there that makes money. I do have a couple of things, like I have, a little, it's a heart frame with diamonds, rhinestones all around it, and it says everyone smiles in the same language. I put a sticker in it and framed it, and I had to put on the back, not for sale. Always put on not for sale if it's not for sale, you guys, or you're going to get phone calls. Okay. But people still want to buy that so bad. So yeah, I would love to decorate more with some really pretty stuff, but they just want to buy it. Okay. So, so I just use affordable stuff that's easy to take down, and I'll probably go in there and do some green here. It still has Valentine's up. So, but I'll do the vignettes, for the themes, because to me also, I said this before, to me, it's important. If you're in a mall, think about your customers and your other vendor friends, your neighbors. People want some excitement. Like when you go to a mall, you want to see some stuff that's like, if it's Christmas. If it's Halloween, you want to see that stuff in the booths, at least half of them, right? So I feel like if your booth qualifies, we kind of owe it to each other to do at least a vignette or something appropriate for each holiday that's coming up to make the place look festive, accordingly festive. Am I saying that? Does that make sense, you guys? Am I saying that right? Yeah. And all of us probably do that, and the boys, I'm sure, will do that.
Mm-hmm.
There was a question kind of based on that topic. Somebody asked about, when do you take your holiday stuff in? Like, how far in advance do you take holiday stuff in?
I'm thinking like 2 weeks. Christmas maybe a little earlier. Christmas is funny though, because some people get really mad if you trample over Thanksgiving, so it's a little tricky. But the stores now have started doing Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, boom, all the same day. Some of them, at least in my area. So they will kind of temper people. They'll bitch about that. Oops, they'll complain about that, and maybe we can get away with setting our Christmas stuff up a little earlier because people want to decorate. They want to know they have their decorations ahead of time, right, you guys? Yes. I'm about 2 weeks in general. What about you guys?
You do 2 weeks?
About 2 weeks before, yeah.
I'm really bad at it. I'm always late with Christmas for some reason, like it just sneak up on me. I promise myself I'm going to do better. I always start like the 1st of December.
Okay. Our mall's pretty good. They tell us like they're getting the seasonal rooms ready and get your stuff out. And it's funny because if you're late, and I'm talking like 3 months out, we had our Christmas booth set up at the end of October, and we were already seeing people's Christmas stuff selling before we even had our booth set up. I was like, we're going to be late. It's super early for us. So I would say think almost like retail. When you get mad when you walk into someplace and you're like, they have the Christmas stuff out.
Time, right? Because we're retail, so to speak.
Yeah, we are. We're now retail. So it's we complain about it as consumers, but as sellers, it really makes sense to get out early because people are seeing it and they're excited about it. And sometimes, especially over the past couple of years with the shutdowns and everything, people are craving that, and they're I swear it was like midsummer people were buying Christmas in like 2021.
Yeah, I think Christmas sells year round.
It does. You're right.
Yep. It does.
Yeah, we'll probably just go with the flow.
I would say our area, I would say beginning of November, we would start putting Christmas out.
Yeah.
Halloween, we would start beginning of September and so on. I would say a month before.
Yeah. I kind of agree. Now that Amy, that's something interesting. I kind of agree. I'm gonna think about that Christmas stuff, especially. Maybe having a lower shelf and having some Christmas stuff all year round, especially if it's the kit stuff. Mm-hmm. The only problem I have is I don't find that much cool stuff, so I tend to save it so I can bam it out at Christmas. But I like that idea of so that people always know, okay, she's always got some Christmas. She's probably going to blow it out here in December. But yeah, because people are always looking, especially if it's the kitschy stuff that's trending now. I like that.
Yeah.
We have a person in our antique mall. They sell Christmas all year round.
Yep.
They
Same
don't
with
take
ours.
it out. I think they have several booths because they have one is just Christmas stuff all the time.
Yeah, that makes kind of sense. Actually,
Yeah.
people like it.
Same with ours.
If I could find enough, but
Yeah, we don't find enough either.
Yeah, we don't.
okay, let's see this one. If I'm missing something, you guys, and you're above Amy, just put it in there again. All caps and some emojis and stuff. How long do you wait to mark down items if they are not selling? You are going to get a mix of answers, I know. How long do you wait to mark down items if they're not selling?
It just depends on how expensive the item is. Like if I feel like the item is real good and I price it at a good price and it takes a while to sell, I'm just going to let it sit there. If maybe I'll give it a month because I really feel like it, has some value to it. But if it doesn't sell within a month, then I'll go ahead and price it down. So.
Yeah, we have sales, and I try and do them strategically. So like an after Christmas sale. So anything that we have that's Christmas, we try and, get those people who are looking for those discounted items out. And it could be 25 to 30% off of everything in the booth. So we always kind of think of that when we're pricing things like, this could be a 30% off, come January. So we kind of account for that. But it's funny, we'll be there moving stuff around and I'll look at something and I'll say, how is this still here? And I'll look at the sticker and I'll go, okay, maybe I'll lower it. But it's not like a equation for me at all. I'm like Regina, like I put stuff in, I try and price it fairly. And if it doesn't sell, I probably notice it months later. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I should switch that tag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would mark down stuff. We thought about doing like a month, but if it is something desirable, I'll take it out of the booth and relist it on eBay.
All right. I think we went back there a couple days ago, and there was one item I marked down because I thought it was a little bit too high. So
yeah, I think it just depends on what the item is.
yeah.
We didn't even talk about this too, you guys. Running sales. If you're allowed, you want to know are you allowed to run sales? How does that work? So let me touch base on that real quick. At my mall, you are allowed to run sales. You can make your own signs, or you can tell them, and they will make the signs for you and put them up. I would probably make my own signs because I'm that way, artsy. And what was I going to say? I don't do it though. I don't do it. And I'm going to add this in before I forget, because we didn't touch base on this. This is something else that's different from mall to mall. Your tags. Some people are computerized, and they want you to log everything in and print out a barcode. Their system is barcode. Me, I have a vendor number, a booth number that they want placed at a certain spot on each ticket. I use a custom stamp on the back, like I saw a lot of other vendors do, to help quickly identify my merchandise if it's found in another booth or put on the go back shelf for the floor walkers to know, oh, that's Yvon, smiley. Mine's a smiley face, so that's Yvon. My booth name is Smile. So I just, I used to put stickers, but then I saw someone with a stamp, a butterfly stamp, one of my friends. I'm like, well, duh, save me money, just a smiley face stamp. Okay, and then, we did talk about this, and then I get printouts, that I can pick up every 2 weeks. I get paid every 2 weeks electronically. I pay my rent electronically. They take it out. You don't have to, but I choose that way because I'll forget to give them a check and I'll get a late fee. And I can go online. There's a portal. So I'm going to answer the other question, and then I want you guys to follow up on this. And there's a portal online because this makes a difference on ease of access and like information. But I have a portal No, the other mall I had a portal. This one I get nightly emails about a half hour after they close, so I can see what sold. So I know if I had a crazy weird day, I've sold so much, I need to get my butt down there. So let me answer that question, and then you guys follow up on that, and I'll remind you. When do I mark things down? So I don't run sales. The reason I don't run sales is it's just too confusing for most people. Believe it or not, a lot of people do not even know how to calculate percentage. So unless you're doing half price, a lot of people don't know what 10, but definitely don't do things like 15. You might could do 25. Some people understand a quarter, the pie. But so that's just me, you guys. I don't do it. But the other side of that coin is when I'm sourcing at a mall, I tend to only look at the booths that have sale signs. So there you go. I just want you to know that. When I'm out looking myself, I gravitate toward all the booths that do have a sale sign. But I don't. I kind of price things. I price things right to where it's a good deal. It's a little bit cheaper than eBay because you're going to save shipping. Sometimes it might be a couple dollars more than what you can get on eBay, but it's no shipping. So I'm like, I can charge $22 instead of $20 like it's on eBay because they don't have to, it's in their hands. They don't have to pay $10 shipping. So I can get that extra $2. And then some of my better items, I do not worry about it. It can sit. I don't care. Because sometimes in my mind, like just the other day, I was watching a video of mine editing and I'm like, oh, that's been there forever. I need to mark it down. I swear, boom, couple days it sells. That just happened to something in my mind that I said, I better go ahead and mark that down. Boom, it sold for full price. So I do think, though, that if you use my strategy, that you do need to move things around, like everybody else has said. You do need to move things around, though. If you got some things you're waiting, you're just definitely waiting on that right price, you need to move them around. With that being said, back to sales. If you do run sales, most all of you have seen this at a mall, you can put some items as firm, so it's not included in a sale. Okay, so that wraps that up. Now I want to back up. Regina, so will you tell me how your tag system at your mall and when and how you know what you sold? Do you have a portal? Do you get emails? How do you know? Will they call you? Wants to make an offer, they'll call me. And if
I wish we did have a portal.
So go ahead, Regina, and then
with our tags, we have our initials and our booth number at the end. And I like what you said about the little sticker. I may have to use that. But anytime an item sells, they take it up to the cashier and they see my item, my initials and booth number, and they will send me an email of what the item was. And that's how I get it. We don't have things electronically yet. I wish we did because I still have to go to my booth and pay every month. I don't know why they're so antiquated. I guess they trying to keep everything like an antique. So that's our system.
Yeah, that's a great topic because the very first space we had, everything was electronic. So we had to provide a spreadsheet with all of our information in a spreadsheet, and they printed out our labels, our sticker labels to put on everything.
Was it with barcodes?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they just could run them through when they were checking out. It was troublesome for us because it was hard to make quick changes on the fly. We would be there and say, oh man, I should have priced this higher or I should have priced this lower. And they had processes and procedures where they wouldn't do it on the spot. So it was like you had to give them so many hours or days notice to get those stickers, to get your barcodes. In the current place, we have all handwritten, just like Regina and Ron. And it's a little bit easier to like switch it out. But at the cash register, it's not always convenient for the people who are buying because the cashiers, and I usually cashier when I volunteer my hours, we have to hand key everything. So we have to hand key the booth number, or the vendor number, a SKU if they have that written in there, and what it is. We actually have to key it in separate line items to check people out. And we're humans, so sometimes there's mistakes. So that's the downside of it too, is handwriting also. I don't know how many times I'm standing by somebody as a cashier and I'm like, what is this price? like I don't even, is this a 5 or a 6?
That's why I use big. My tags are so big. I want you guys to be able to read my inventory number, the price. I want the customers to be able to read what I'm saying about it. I'm trying to sell it on that little, it's like an eBay listing on my tag. like I'm trying to sell it.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead, Amy, with what else?
Oh, the booth or the antique mall supplies the stickers or the hang tags for us. We have to purchase them. So like it's $1 a sheet for I think 50 stickers, or I don't know if it's $2 or something for the hang tags, but there's a certain number that are twisted together. So we have to purchase those.
And what about checking? Do you have a portal? That
sorry. I actually have it up. So we have a portal that we can get into to see what our sales were for the day. I know you're getting a big reflection there. But it's very convenient. So at this close, the end of day, and our shops are open from Thursday through Sunday. So after about 5:30, they close at 5, but after about 5:30, you can go in and check your sales. Mm-hmm. So it's really convenient, but we still have to pay in person, like Regina.
Yeah.
Well, mine just switched over. We used to have to as well, and I told them I'll be your problem child on that. I could tell you right now. I won't cash my paychecks because I hate going to the bank. Who goes to the bank anymore?
Right.
Like, I won't cash my paychecks that you give me until I get 3 or 4 of them, and I'll forget to pay you my rent. I'll be your problem child. I'm telling you right now. I'm sorry. Okay, I still couldn't be here. I'll make it up some other way. But then a couple months later,
online. Like you can take pictures of them now through your bank.
What? Oh,
yeah, you can.
It's really easy now to cash a check.
Okay. Well, I don't have that problem anymore because they switched over electronically. I was like,
nice.
Yes, you can have my information. Yes, go get your money. So, and did we already do Jeremy and Michael on your system? Do you have a portal? Do you get emails?
So they don't tell us what sold until we get paid, which is every 2 weeks.
So with a printout with your commission check.
Yeah, I kind of wish it was like a portal though, because
no emails, no nightly emails, or
they said if our inventory is running low, they would email us or text us. We haven't got one of those yet, but
that would be a good problem,
right?
And yeah, we just have the hang tags, and we just make sure you write really neatly.
Right.
Like vendor number.
Just
vendor number.
Initials is all they have.
Initials. A booth number? No.
No, just initials.
An inventory number? Do you do inventory numbers?
No.
You do that for yourself. I do that for myself.
Inventory
as well.
Not a bad idea.
Because I started an Excel spreadsheet.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because unlike eBay, I don't do it for eBay. Some people do that, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of redundant. I don't have time for that. I'm sorry if I'm being crunchy, because all I have to do for my inventory on eBay is go look at my listings. Anyways, but for this, I wanted to be able to monitor theft.
Yeah,
I know that's what
if I was going to have a problem. So I just started an Excel. I just type it in, and
So we write a description of the item, then the price, and on the back we put our booth initials.
Okay. Will they let you? So do they type in descriptions for your printouts? You don't know yet. You haven't gotten one.
I think when it sells, I think they put it in the computer.
So can you add a stock number to your description? You probably can then. A stock number or a SKU, if you will, whatever you want.
Can, yeah.
If you wanted to.
I would say, yeah.
Because that makes it easier for your Excel spreadsheet if you've got things numbered to go look, to find it, to mark it as sold. Because I've got it listed. One of the columns is A for active, P for pulled because I pulled it for somebody who wanted it off of YouTube, or S for sold. So
you have.
Sorry. Okay, you guys, just curious about all this. See how different every system runs? So you guys, these are some they seem nitpicky, but once you're in the flow, these details are kind of can become important. For instance, not to pick on Regina, but Regina would love to have a portal, like
Love
or
to.
an
Still
email.
have to write those checks out, and they won't even take our credit cards to pay on the booth. They accept the customers, but we still have to write our checks out or pay cash.
So that's things you want to know.
Ours is that way too. Cash or a check, right?
Yeah, mine was that way before we went electronic, but I could pay with a credit card. But if I wanted to pay my rent with a credit card, I had to add in the credit card processing fee for them, which makes sense. If we were a business, we'd kind of,
Yeah.
we'd be like, okay, I'm not covering, like,
Yeah.
but yeah. But all of these places have chances to grow, to upgrade, especially if you show them something that's affordable. They might be open-minded. You never know. Show them something that's affordable to handle.
Right.
Let me see what Peter says. Peter's a good friend, and he is so smart. Sheets on Google is ideal to use from my phone and computer, so easy. Yeah, that's right. You're right, because you could access that from anything. So that's a good idea too, Peter. Okay, you guys they're all helping each other too. I like that. Let me see what this says. Somebody had something for Regina. Let's see. We get a monthly printout, credit card fees, other deductions, along with a newsletter from the owner. That's nice. Well, there you go. There's a mall that sends a newsletter. We do get special emails if there's a special event coming up.
Yeah.
Such as this is something we didn't mention. My mall will have special nights or mornings where they were open earlier or stay open later, called vendor or dealer nights, where we can come in before they're open, after they're closed, no customers, and work on our booths. Sometimes they provide snacks and stuff like that. Do you guys have those kind of days?
Yeah, we have vendor nights where you can come in and there's no customers. You can work, hang items in your booth or whatever. So
yeah,
I don't think we have that.
Yeah, we do. They have a
you probably do.
Day.
Probably.
They have like they call it a cleaning day, and they open on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think there's one coming up. It's always not a convenient day for me, but it's a great idea.
And that's a good time to meet your fellow vendors. I've met a lot that way.
Right.
But you guys, you just haven't been there long enough maybe to run into it, especially before Christmas. I think we had extra ones before Christmas. Okay, and Peter said something to Regina. I'm trying to find it. I think Peter said something, Regina, that something about probably wants you guys to come in and pay your rent just to be sure you get in there to do stuff. I don't know.
So it's probably something behind that because that's just too answers.
Let's see. Oh, Scott's here. Hello, Scott. Hello.
Scott?
Mountain State Pickers. Hello. Let's see what Amy says. Hi, Amy. We can view our sales about an hour after closing. We get paid twice a month with a print of all solds. Yeah, that's kind of like, I don't have a portal where I'm at now, but I get the emails and they come pretty quick. I don't think I see any other questions, but I have things that I know.
Well, I've been copying some that were up above where I think you were grabbing. So Jeremy Robbins says he's been waiting on a list and expecting a call at any time to move into a booth. Wants our advice on how to prepare. He says, should I start boxing stuff up, getting it ready to move?
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing I think you should do is, I'm going out of turn, but the first thing you need to do is, does your booth need painted? Are they going to paint it or are you going to paint it? What's on the floor? Are you happy with it? Are you allowed to put a carpet? Does it need cleaned? Is it pegboard? Are there any fixtures included? Do you have to get your own fixtures? And guess what? At my mall, this is very important. This is another little tidbitty thing you need to ask. The section that I'm in, now over in the warehouse, the garage sale type, you could have plastic shelving. Not in the section I'm in, no plastic shelving. So those are things you need to know because that makes a difference. And then I would immediately start making friends and start walking around that mall and do like I did and see who's leaving. Is your booth already cleaned out from the previous vendor? Because if not, they might have some fixtures for sale. See what you need. Okay, Regina, you guys add to what.
And I would say, make sure that the booth has electricity, because some booths don't have electricity. So
oh my gosh,
don't want to put items in there that needs to be plugged up. So
that's a good point. How many do you have? And also know this: fire laws. You cannot do extension cord to extension cord. There's going to be a strict rule.
Yeah,
you have to have one of those strips. You can have, but you can't do double extension cords. And so to find, I got lucky and I found at the thrift store, but these are hard. Most of those strips only come with 6-foot cords. I found some 10 and 12. So already get online and find some 10 and 12 foot long cords for those strips, because you're probably, even if you do have electricity, it's probably only going to be 1, maybe 2 outlets if you're lucky. Okay. You guys add to that. If anybody add to that.
Yeah, I think you two did awesome. I would worry about fixtures. I think when we did our very first booth, I went on to Facebook Marketplace and I was searching for free stuff, because I was like, there's got to be free shelves out there. And I found my favorite set of shelves came out of like a turn of the century home out of the basement. And they were kind of these primitive cool shelves that we have like installed on the wall. And I got them for free. So you're going to need lots of shelves, hutches, things like that. If you have a booth that requires displaying stuff, that's the first thing that you're probably going to want to look for, is how do I display stuff? I'm going to need shelves.
Yeah, that's true. I would say at least start tagging your items and figuring out what items you're going to put in there. That's what we did.
Yeah.
Just prepare yourself and
just get your items that you want
definitely
way ahead of time.
Yeah, definitely figure out how you're going to display them.
Is your case lit?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? One mall that I was at, if you wanted electricity, that was an extra $10 a month. It's included where I'm at now, but just know, you guys ever run into that, an extra charge if you do want electricity?
Mine is an extra charge.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're not allowed to have extra electricity. Like we can't have a lamp plugged in.
Okay. But you're just in a case so far. That might be different when you get into a booth.
Yeah.
There's
I bet you the next time we talk, you guys will be moving. You guys will be in a booth. Okay, Scott, help me find it. There it is. Just because you said my name, Scott. Wait till I model those epic 70s Levi's that I got from you for only $50 that you and Melody found. Right? Melody's your wife, right? Hang on. I'm going to give Scott a funny one, you guys. You guys, this is just tongue in cheek. Remember, you've only seen this a couple of times because this is not direct. I'm just messing with Scott. This is not directed. This is super freak. You guys probably know her from Instagram and whatnot. She's hilarious, Stephanie. I just grabbed one of her funny Instagrams, okay? So this is not directed. This is just to have fun with Scott. Here you go. Thank you for the $5, love.
I just want to let you know that I heard that you've been talking some smack, and I just want you to know that I've been taking Taekwondo lessons in the back of the Walmart Supercenter, so if you don't want to get hurt, then you better stop.
I love that. I hardly ever get a chance to use it because it seems inappropriate, but Scott, gotta be cute. That's just Stephanie. I cracked up. You know, that was trending, last year or so? But she did the funniest version of it.
It's so funny.
She's hilarious. Just hilarious. Okay, did we see another? Let me see. Peter.
Jeremy had another question that was good too. He says, do you find items sell better or worse in respect to where you place them in your booth? Like on a wall, in a shelf, on the floor, front and center? Question mark.
Wait a minute. Let me get this. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I can say, oh, wait, it's not my turn. They know about me. They know about you, Yvonne. Go ahead, Regina.
I think it's where you place them, like putting them eye level things that you have that you want people to pay attention to, and not on the floor. Some of my items, like if you put items, I can get items where things can be really crowded in my booth. So if something's behind another item and it's kind of crowded, people don't see it. So I kind of like to bring it out to the front so they can see it.
Yeah, I don't know if you all have this, but we have like hot spots where I swear if something's sitting in that location, it's going to sell because that's the place that everybody's eye lands first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, put that in the hot spot. It'll sell quick.
That's a good point. Yeah, where people's eye kind of goes. Yeah, would be a hot spot. I thought you meant metaphysically, but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just human nature, the way we operate.
Yep. So I mean, it's funny because I think it just takes the right person. I would be the one, Regina, to like sniff out the thing behind the thing. Like I like to dig and I like the story behind it. Like, ooh, it was hiding behind this other thing and I found it, you know? So I think it just depends on the person that's shopping in your booth. But eye level, I agree with Regina. Eye level, something about like the spots that sell for us are like the front and center or the eye level spots. So
yeah, I would say we have a hot spot. So when you go around the corner, the first thing you see is the right side of the case,
Right.
and more eye level.
Yeah.
That's
so
what
we have-
the staff told us. That is true.
Yeah. And you
You
have
know,
very
and Amy,
in the bottom.
Amy, you're in marketing. What is eye level? You and I are 5'11".
I know.
Kate's 5'1". Okay?
I was thinking that.
So I don't know what eye level really is.
Yeah, I was thinking that. It's probably between that like 5 and 6 foot, somewhere in there.
Like maybe a 3-foot path or a 2-foot. I'm gonna look that up and see what what the stats are on that. Because like when we see Kate and we all go thrifting in Ohio, we're gonna have to get the stuff off the top shelf for her. She's 5'1". I didn't even know that. Did you know that? 5'1"?
I knew she was short, but yeah.
And I'm thinking the boys are tall. You guys are tall.
Yeah, 6 foot.
And Regina, you're about 5'7".
5'2".
No, she's a baby blue too. You look tall in your outfits online. You're a baby too. We'd have to help Regina too.
Yeah, help me.
Well, so yeah, if you can get that, because I don't want to bend over.
Right. You go low, I'll go high.
Oh yeah, that's common. I always joke about online dating. If a guy says he's 6 foot online, he's 5'10". But we won't get crunchy about all that. Let me see.
Crunchy.
Okay. Sean, I did not know you were tiny too. I did not know that. Okay, let's see. Rocky Mountain Values. We have a table in the middle of our booth, and I do a high-low pattern. Okay. I don't have anything in the middle of my booth. My main booth is about 10 by 10, 10 by 12. So I just did, I left it real open because I have a lot of glass. I want people to have more than 2 people be able to get in there and not feel like they're crowding each other, because sometimes my booth does get busy. I have a lot of glass. And so I purposely don't put anything in the middle of that booth because I have a lot of glass. Yes, fun size. Thrifty Broad 5'1". No, we're not Hobbit. No. You're a cute little pixie. You guys are little baby boos. That's what I said. What was the question? I got off on a tangent. What was the question? If not, I got questions that we haven't touched base on. I know some things we need to say out loud to help those that we haven't touched base on. No, wait a minute. We touched base on fixtures, like, look around at other vendors that are leaving or rearranging.
Right.
Oh, I didn't answer the eye level thing. I got off on a tangent because I'm tall. So yes, I am kind of strategic about where I put things. My glass, I put where the best light is shining on it to make it show so beautifully, And then another thing I wanted to say was another question, but kind of like what Regina did with her booth, she wanted it to stand out. So she had, they custom built. I remember you guys going to get the wood. That was in a video. I saw it. I kind of did the same thing. I knew I was going to be selling a lot of glass and stuff. A lot of people do the brown furniture shelves because it's so cheap at the thrift stores, right? It's you can actually get it off the side of the road free, that older brown stuff. So I wanted to stand out, and so I got lucky too. All my stuff is white or glass shelving or white. And I did buy a showcase that had brown laminate, so I immediately got that white marbly contact paper you put on your shelves and just, cut it and covered up the brown. So because I do sell so much, glass and pottery, so I chose to go with the white, because pottery doesn't always show up quite as well on brown. If I was using a brown showcase for my pottery that I sell a lot of, I'd probably put a white backing or a lighter color backing to help it pop out. Okay, let me see. Do we have any other questions? Amy?
Scott had a question.
Let me see what Paula said. Yeah. No less than once a month is how I think we all feel like that's really once a month, and you're going to start, you're not going to stay into the red too long or the black. How do you decide what goes in your booth or eBay? I think, Kathy, did you ask this on the Nurse Flipper show, I think? Okay, go ahead, Regina. How do you decide what goes where?
For me, that's easy because if it's something big, I'm putting it in the booth because I do not like to deal with shipping because I work full time and I just don't have time for it. So all the big items and the breakables goes in the booth, unless it's some small like mugs and some plates or something.
I would say sell-through rate. That's my number one thing. If it has a good sell-through rate, even if it's big sometimes, I hate to ship it too, but if it's got a great sell-through rate and I know I'm going to sell it quickly, I'm going to make money on eBay, that's where I go. And then everything else is the booth or maybe a live sale, but that's my number one path towards deciding for eBay.
Yeah, I would say if it's a highly collectible item,
Listed on eBay.
It sells really high listed on eBay. If you want top dollar, because you have a wider audience on eBay than at the booth, right?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with everybody. A little bit of what everybody said. I got booths because I saw all this cool big stuff that I didn't want to ship, and so I'm like, I can get a booth. And also, the other reason I want a booth, I want to be a little more diversified. Shipping is going insane. And I feel like that affects our eBay sales sometimes on some of the things you can sell. I feel like they really got to be something useful, replenishable, somebody needs, or, what collectors are buying or decorators. It's getting a little rough out there for just your average, generic general merchandise, in my opinion, you guys, on eBay. So that's why. And I wanted to make friends offline. All my friends, I looked around. I'm like, I have no friends offline since I quit working at the salon. All my friends are YouTubers and thrifters that live all over the world. I'm like, if I died, nobody's coming to my funeral. Not that I'm having one, but you know what I mean. So now I have a ton of friends too, and I love them all. And so for me, it's what everybody said. Like my fire and light, there's no reason to put my fire and light in my booth.
Right.
Now, it would be a while before somebody might know what that is, but it's trending heavily all over and online. It's going to sell like that on eBay. My Batosi, I might put one piece of Batosi in my booth just to be like, oh my gosh, this booth, look at the Batosi, just for the wow factor of my booth, give it some clout. But I'm probably going to take a chance and have it listed on eBay at the same time or something, because that kind of stuff needs to kind of go, But to answer your question, you will, once you get rolling in your booth and kind of watch what people have in their carts, or maybe you work the front desk one day a month like Amy does, and you see what people are buying and how much it was for, for sure. But once you get a kind of handle on how to run your booth, you'll kind of know. It'll start to happen. It's hard to wrap words around because we're all doing it and been doing it, and it happens so fast in your head with your knowledge base. It's hard to I tried to, like last night laying in bed, I tried to slow down the process so I could wrap words around it to explain it. But it happens when you're buying the item, and you just, after a while, you just kind of know, okay, this is going here, this is going to a live sale. Sometimes we make a mistake, yeah, so, move the egg cups around or whatever. But there are some items, if you want to make your money, go ahead and, do it on eBay. But maybe you don't do eBay at all, so that's okay. But, there are some items that might not have such a regional appeal of where you're at, as they do, as you see when you're looking at social media. They might not be trending so hard, whatever location you're at.
Yeah.
That's okay. Then, I don't know, do what Regina does and use your Facebook marketplace and be willing to ship. If somebody says, hey, I live out of state, I can't go pick it up at your booth at this address. Will you please let me pay? You might feel generous every once in a while. Be like, yeah, I think I can handle shipping this if you want to pay. You guys want to add to that? I just rambled. You guys want to add? Because sometimes when one person says something, it reminds us of something else. Anything else to add about how you make your decisions? Regina, do you do live sales yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Let me know if you want to come.
My time is so.
I know. We'd have to do one at night, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me know. Amy's probably up for it. Okay. You guys have anything to kind of add about that? I think those were good answers.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one too. Wait a minute. Who is the person that you'd love to pick their estate? Well, okay, let's do this one first, and then I'll get to that one, Scott.
How do you come up with prices for your booth items? I still check on eBay first just to kind of see what it's going for on eBay. And then I price it that way.
Yeah, same here. Look for sold comps on eBay and then realize that the person may also be, I think that way because how I shop. I might stop and look something up on eBay and say, are they even in the ballpark here? But then remember that you got to kind of strike shipping out of it. And sometimes you got to take into account that eBay is a huge worldwide market. So what you can get for something on eBay may not be anywhere near what somebody locally will pay for it. So sometimes, you might want to also take a little bit off of that. And I've run into the opposite too. If it's something that's really cool and local, I think in Jeremy and Michael mentioned pottery. I got a lot of pottery going into the booth, and I have a box of pottery that's going to be filling in spaces as that stuff sells because it's trending. If we're seeing it at our mall and it's something like that that's selling, maybe I get a little bit more for it than I would on eBay because people aren't searching for an aesthetic. Sometimes somebody's going to come to your booth and they're going to say, I love pottery, right? And I love this piece because they're going to see it and they're going to feel it and they're going to see how well it's built. And you can't do that with eBay. So maybe you put, a little bit more on it there in your booth and you get a little bit more because it might not even be searched on eBay. It may not even be found, depending on, how your keywords and all that are. So it's something that you just have to think through and think about, okay, if I'm standing here in my booth or in somebody else's booth and I'm a shopper, what seems fair, especially if I look it up, because if I look it up and I can buy it cheaper on eBay, plus get it shipped cheaper from eBay, then I'm not buying it from that booth. So yeah, it's a little bit tricky, but you start to, like Yvonne said, you start to pick up just kind of those little things and you get a sense of how you're going to price things as you're buying them, where they're going to go and how you're going to price them, if that made sense.
Yeah, and I say walk around the rest of the antique mall and get a feel of the different prices. And maybe
that's a good one.
That's really smart. Yeah.
Do it a little bit lower than what they have. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I think
you guys, when we talk about pottery, please know we're talking about artisan pottery or good names. We're not talking about commercialized, mass-produced pottery like
studio.
My favorite, Pioneer Woman. Although I say that loosely because some people do sell Pioneer Woman replacements just fine. But we're mostly talking about good artisan pieces of pottery.
Like this.
Yes.
I know. I know. Some people don't like. I know. I get crunchy when it comes to Pioneer Woman, and what's the other one?
Temptations.
Temptation. Oh, don't even. Ooh, see, I would already delete that.
Yes, but look it up because it's great to sell on eBay sometimes.
But you can sell it. You can resell it. There are people that love it. Okay, this is a little off. Well, it's loosely related. Scott wants to know who is one person that you'd love to get to pick their estate. Okay, like a celebrity or like one of us is gone. And what do you mean? I don't know. Okay, we'll just say celebrity, I guess. Celebrity, Scott.
I'm not sure. Anybody that's rich, that'll be good for me.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Like who?
I would say a hoarder's house. Yeah, somebody who's a hoarder.
Oh
yeah, with lots of stuff. I actually had an online auction of a woman who was an art collector, and that was my favorite thing. I was watching that auction and almost bidding on anything that I thought I could make maybe like 3 or 4 times my money. I was so just taken by her stuff. But one of the best compliments I received recently was I had a friend over for dinner, and she was looking through my stuff, and she's like, "You're going to have a really effing awesome estate sale." I was like, yeah.
I think about that too, kind of.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you, Michael. What'd you say?
I think about that too once in a while. Like if I was pass away and have an estate sale,
Yeah.
I would have a lot of awesome items.
Who do you guys want to pick?
We just said a hoarder house.
Yeah.
A hoarder house. Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, my husband and my family knows if I have an untimely demise to call George the Antique Nomad. He gets first dibs. Come and get what he wants. Bring Jocelyn and Drew if you want to, because I know he'll know exactly. It'll be quick and painless for my husband. Okay. It won't take George no time to know what, he knows what I have, what's what. Get it, box it up, go, and get it to where it belongs. And it won't be hard on my husband, So that's why I chose. He knows. My daughters know. You call George the Antique Nomad. If I happen to, I ain't going anywhere. I'm too sassy for that, you guys. I know I just had a huge birthday. Well, I'm not done here. Okay. And who do I want to pick? I'm going to say right now, what comes to my mind is, and I really, this is kind of, you guys don't take this the wrong way. This is coming. I'm a super fan. I'm a super fan. But this is coming from like a business standpoint. I have a little in my mind, a little death watch list. Okay. My people that I love are getting older. They're in their 70s and 80s. They're starting to move on. They're starting to pass over. And I'm going to be very, very upset. But I have started collecting all the Cher stuff. And there's some, all the Led Zeppelin stuff. Some of it's going to be mine. Some of it's, I'm just kind of, it's in a box, the people that I love. I'm going to collect all that stuff because when someone passes away, there's a period where, okay, like David Bowie passed away. Just think if you had a bunch of David Bowie stuff, some of it, if you were a super fan, you're going to keep some of it. But then you're also going to get a chance to make a little extra money and give the fans that are mourning what they want, which is a piece of that history. He's gone now. So I know there's a morbid factor that at first glance you're like, whoa, that's rude. But you get what I'm saying, right? I hope you get what I'm saying. So right now, I'm a big Cher fan. I grew up watching Cher and all her transitions. So I want all her wardrobe. I want all her jewelry. I don't know what her inside of her houses look like if she collects anything. I just want all her clothing, all her wardrobe, all that stuff.
That'd be fun.
That would be.
Let me see. It's not okay. Yeah, rock music and Cher.
I saw another one if you're looking for one.
Yeah. What is it? Thank you.
Brenda Rushka, I don't know if I'm saying that right, says, has everyone changed their inventory mix since the economy /inflation is impacting everyone. She says she added more low-priced items because she's experimenting.
Regina?
Not really. In my booth, I do like to put items at different prices because I feel like some people just want to spend money. They might not be looking to buy something that costs a whole lot. So I try to put items in there from $10 and up. So just for everybody, just for the casual shopper. They may have kids and see something to kind of calm them down. So prices for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
I've seen it hit, and I think maybe we just kind of intuitively started to price a little bit different. But I like what Regina said as far as pricing for everybody. I am a little bit different than my aunt though. She'll put something in and she'll put a 50-cent tag on it. And my thing is like, it's a time issue. Like if it's not going to make me, sometimes if it's something repetitive. Okay. So like I brought a bunch of incense in and they were like the 15 count, incense boxes. So they're like $2.30 a piece. And that was simple to rewrite, all those little stickers. But if it's like a lot of little things like that, I just think of all the time about writing it out and putting it on, taking it over there. Like I want to make the money. So you just kind of have to find that balance. But I think we did adjust a little bit for the economy. We had more sales, or we had bigger, like we adjusted to bigger percentage sales. So yeah.
Jeremy, Michael?
We just have stuff priced low, and then we have some stuff priced high.
Yeah, mix of prices I think is good.
Same
Good
as
ratio.
Regina.
Yeah.
I haven't changed what I sell at all. Now, if I was a high volume, I do this part-time for fun. I love this. It keeps me off the street, setting my husband and I up for, extra income during retirement. And again, to keep us off the street, keep us out of trouble. But if I was a general merchandise reseller, then yeah, I would probably have shifted, like especially during COVID, I would probably have, well, we still have that during the pandemic main crisis. I might shift over to more replenishables, things like that. I saw some of my friends in the general merchandise niche do that, switch over a little bit more, consumables, because a lot of people, that's how they were getting anything, was through the internet. Right. I think, like, I remember making a post. I'm like, I think I made it to the end of 2020. I'm like, resellers, how you like us now, because we were the ones that were getting you guys your stuff, because you couldn't go to the store and stuff, so the shelves were empty. But maybe we had some replenishable stuff, that hair shampoo you wanted or whatever, that toothpaste. If we were general merchandise, we had it. So I made a snarky little post like that. But anyways, only other resellers took it tongue in cheek. But for what I do, I don't have to. I sell like collectible stuff and glass and, things that people that have a little bit of money, they just keep on trucking. The rich people don't really suffer like the rest of us do when there's chaos. They don't really. So, if anything else, maybe they buy a little more to add to their collection to make themselves happy. Especially when it was a lockdown time. But I hope I answered your question. And to touch base on, but I do at my mall, at my booth, and I'm a big believer in this, and I think everybody else was kind of on board. I do believe in having some more affordable items. I'll pick up items that really are kind of like a waste of time. Like Amy says, business wise, on paper, it's like, really, you just spent 5 minutes like cleaning this, making a tag for it, putting it in the box, for this $10 or $5 item or whatever. But yes, like Regina said, when people come through, you want everyone to get to have fun. If you go to a mall and if we go and everything's expensive, you see us on video, we walk out there going, okay, next place. right? We're not in no hurry to go back. So you want everybody to get to have some fun, because maybe that week they don't have very much money, but they could buy something fun for themselves or a gift. They could count on being able to find a gift. But guess what? That might be the person that next year has a great job or wins the lottery and has plenty of money. I don't know.
Right.
You know, and they're going to remember the places where they had fun, where they were treated well and they had fun. We're like that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of those little items too that you're talking about could be a really good part of your rent.
Yep, they add up.
I meant to mention this, but there's a lot of Facebook groups for booth owners or booth, there's communities out there. So that's a really good thing to tap into, because you can ask questions in there. People who have way more experience than us will tell you what their experience has been, and they'll share. Sometimes people will say, hey, I bought a bunch of stickers on this Amazon link and I'm making, $100 every month on these stickers or something.
They'll give out bolas.
Yeah, they'll share information, especially since, this is like, people all over the country. But they'll say like, this is selling in my booth. And, somebody posted a couple weeks ago, rings. They bought like rings in bulk, and they were selling these little rings at like $5 a piece, a ton of them, and making up a big portion of their rent. So I think it depends on the rules in your marketplace, but it's good to check out those kind of resources on Facebook for sure.
And if nothing else, just to be able to get quicker answers if you're new, because we might do a booth talk again in 3 months. I don't know, but just to get quicker answers, that in a forum full of people, I might do that myself, Amy. And again, remember, we're all in different locations. It just varies. It's regional sales, regional themes and trends are a real thing. So
yeah. What's really nice about those groups too is you can put up pictures of your booth, and you can say like, I'm not selling. Like, do you have any advice? And there's people on there. Yeah, there's people who are on there who really have like, move this around or color coordinate this, or make this stand out by doing this. I mean, you get a lot of help.
Or maybe and I need to do this to one of my booths myself, but I'll figure it out. Like, I still need to optimize my square footage, to optimize my displays to get the most items without being a picker porn booth. Although some people love picker porn booths. Yeah. They love to get in there and dig. Amy likes picker porn booths. To get because every inch, even that air in the middle that you're standing in costs you money. So, I got a booth that I still need to like really optimize. So
me too.
Well, we've been about 2 hours. I will start getting goofier, and you can see my voice is getting. Is there anybody that had anything really burning that you needed to know, or do you guys think of anything that we kind of forgot that needs to be said? Any last?
The Facebook group thing was the one thing that I kept wanting to bring up, because there's so many good resources out there, and there's so many people who are doing it and sharing information. So I would say go find those communities if you're really interested, because there's really good people out there.
Yeah, why not try to advertise your booth?
Yeah.
Do any of the antique malls do events like flea markets?
Yes,
like ours does.
One of them that I was in, I don't know about the one I'm in now. They haven't, but one of mine did. They did a that I used to be in. They did so you could set up outside for free for some day. I was out of turn. Sorry, Regina. Go ahead. Do you guys ever have special?
We have special events for like Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Like special hours, or set up in the like free, or the radio station comes.
They have like little parties where they ask for all the vendors to come to kind of dress up and just to be there. Like, you can just dress up, put Halloween, people dress up for Halloween, and they have snacks and things, and just kind of socialize with some of the people that come.
Oh, to socialize with your customers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Amy?
Our mall does all kinds of stuff. The owner's son went to college through a marketing path, and he came in and took over as like part owner manager at a really young age, and he has all these ideas. It was hard for some of the people who've been there a long time because they looked at him like, what? I'm not doing I'm not doing store-wide sales. You know, you're taking you're making choices for me. But they have like a membership, like loyalty program. They have regular sales. They have one sale a month that's called a treasure hunt, where they put out these coins everywhere, and you find a coin and it has a number that corresponds to a percentage off. So it could be anything from like 10% to 100%. And they only count on the vendors to cover the 10. So if somebody draws a 50% off, they get 50% off, but you'll get reimbursed in cash, whatever the difference is.
They cover that. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they do like Christmas time. They do a like a late night sale where they're open till like 1 a.m. They do a lot of really fun stuff. They only have, I think, a 20% off store-wide sale like twice a year. It's in the summertime, and then again that like Christmas late night sale. But yeah, they do some really cool stuff. That's one of the questions you should ask, because you know that drives traffic. When people are like excited about that treasure hunt, they're coming on those days, you know. And we see our numbers just when we get those reports on those sales days, we're like, heck yeah, have another one.
I like.
Yeah. So besides advertising, if you're trying to compare what mall to go into, so besides advertising, what kind of events do you guys have?
Yeah.
Do you guys know anything about your mall yet?
No, not yet. I think in a couple days when we go back, we're going to ask about that. Yeah, I believe they have flea markets. I know there's one antique mall near us, the one that we don't really go to. I know they have like a flea market when the weather is nice. They have like a band. Yeah, and vendors set up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like, oh man, that would be cool. Even if like the owners would be like, hey, let the food truck people come and set up in the parking lot on a Saturday, because that's a big trend, at least especially in my town here in Colorado. The food truck people are like little celebrities. Like they advertise, they promote. Some of them are so well known. They got their own little following that'll like, where are you going to be at this week?
Yeah.
That would be cool. I don't know if you guys experience anything like that. That's a huge trend. I wanted to show this real quick. She says our mall won't let us do anything less than $3. That's interesting. I don't really see the point. I don't think I do anything. I had a little dish full of like angels. I did like $2.99. I think that's the cheapest I've ever gone. Just a little trinket a kid could pick up for their mom, but it looked cool. It was just these little wire angels with rhinestone eyes. I got like a pack of 12, right? They cost me like 50 cents a piece. So I could sell them for $2.99. You know, and I put them on a card. So yeah. Man, this doesn't tell you how many boxes and boxes of eggs.
They're talking about my vendor mall does an Easter egg hunt, and he buys like 20 bikes and I don't know how many baskets, and then thousands of stuffed animals. And these kids, they run in the field. We fill, I think it was like 10 or 20,000 eggs or more. It was like a crazy no, it was like 16,000 eggs last year. And they just unleash these kids across the field that's right next to the place, and they get all these eggs, and then they can open them and get prizes. It was insane. We were there last year for it. It was insane.
Amy, I do have to say, I'm at a good mall, but I think yours tops mine as far as like things that they do for the vendors.
Yeah.
Well, I'm at an excellent mall. Like,
you
they
should
do a
see
lot,
what they do for the vendors at Christmas. We have a Christmas party, and it's like lottery tickets. They're handing you lottery tickets left and right, and they're playing games, and there's prizes. There's tables and tables and tables of free stuff. It's
That's
Yeah,
nice.
You're probably very happy there. Yeah.
it's fun. It's definitely fun.
All right, you guys. Let's
Peter.
do a round robin and what we have coming up next. You guys, on the next booth talk, I will invite Jeremy and Michael back for sure to be part of that panel so that they can give you an update as to, you know, what all have they learned? How's it been going? You know, because we're watching them go through this process that us three girls might already take for granted. Like I said, some things happen so quick in our brain, we can't even we have to stop and look at it and try to wrap words around it to talk about it. We're so used to it, it just happens. Like we just know. But they're still in the process, so it'd be very much fun to watch them grow.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's do a round robin of what you have next. I hope you guys are following everybody. Now, Regina's never been on my channel. I've been watching her for about 3 years. So I already did, I think. Yeah, I already put all their YouTube links in the video description that you dropped down. And Amy has her own website. Yes. Do you guys have your own website too? I didn't think so. And I don't either. Not for reselling, but Amy does. Okay, so what you got coming up, Regina? Tell us about your YouTube channel.
Well, on my YouTube channel, I just talk about reselling, and lately I've been talking about Temu. But every other week we have Hump Day Hangout with me and my co-host Derek, and we talk about reselling and just a little bit of everything. And you all want to check us out? Follow me, and you can follow Derek also.
I listened to the last one. I wasn't there live. I'm on my TV watching you guys a lot, so I don't always leave comments. I'm sorry, but I watched everybody. But you guys were cracking me up. I was trying to make a thumbnail for my next sale, listening to you guys. You guys were cracking me up. You went on this whole rabbit hole of games we used to play as kids.
Yeah.
How, we just go out and play. When we survived, or and what would get us in trouble way back in the day.
Yeah.
I was like, yep. I kept shaking my head. Yep. I can hear my dad. In or out? Shut the door.
Right. Yeah. Listen.
In my head, like, yep. So anyway, Amy. Oh, hey, you guys. Amy just dropped a video showing her booth, how what they've got going on, how they rearrange some things. That's still pretty up on her.
Yeah, I think it was last Thursday, maybe 3 videos back. We we updated stuff. And like I said, my aunt took over the 3rd booth. So we kind of shifted stuff and updated stuff. And I documented all of it.
Do you have an live sale coming up? Anything?
Oh, let's see. I have, for anybody who's not following me, and I do want to say so many friends showed up tonight, which I really appreciate. Y'all come in and definitely join channels with my friends here. I do a Tuesday video and a Thursday video every week, and then in the middle of the month I do what's called an unlive sale, which is basically a offer up style, but it's recorded, and then I shut it down a couple of days after I start it. It's kind of a neat thing.
Yes, you guys, you bid in the comments. You have a few days to bid in the comments. So for those of you that have slow internet, you might really enjoy Amy's unlive sales.
Yeah, you have to see it with quotes, like unlive sale.
You get to see everything. She's showing it to you, but you can watch it at your leisure. Yeah. Maybe you're at work when there's a live sale and you miss out on everything. So she has a nice alternative for you, which I will be copying every once in a while. Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun. Our friend Richard started it. He just came up with it. And then I was like, that's brilliant. So I stole it. I give him credit for it all the time. His channel he's not really active right now on his YouTube channel, but he's on TikTok under the same name, and it's Vintage Art Guy. He's hilarious. But so that middle of the month, and then I do a live at the end of the month. This next one will be on the 23rd. So it won't be the last Thursday of the month. It'll be the second to last Thursday of the month. But that's what I have coming up.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh. So we just had a new video come out today. So if you want to check that out. And of course, we're going to do our monthly live sale with Yvon.
First Wednesday of the month.
Those are always fun.
Thank you.
I always look forward to that. And then today, all the thrift stores were closed because of the snowstorm.
I'm gonna try to get a video tomorrow and have it out Monday.
Yeah, you guys, they didn't get to go thrifting this weekend because I was like, thanks for coming on a Saturday when I know you want to be out thrifting, but they're like, no, everybody's shut down because they're getting the weather now.
Oh, yeah.
And most of them everything closes like around 5 anyways, 6. So we still would have made this tonight.
I wouldn't mind trying the on the live sale.
We
We might try that. That sounds interesting. I'm gonna steal it from you, Amy.
Let's see. Wait a minute. Let me see what. Yes, that's Amy's website. And if you guys are watching this later, it's all in the video descriptions, the hot links. I know some people still don't realize there's a little way you can draw, even on your phone, on your iPad, on the computer, that you can expand the video description. It's got all kinds of information in it for you. Me personally, my next, I do the first Wednesday live sale with Jeremy and Michael. The second Wednesday of the month, I do with Kate, Follow That Bug Vintage, and the Kitschy Cat. The Kitschy Cat, Kathy, is still a little overwhelmed with, her cat and things at home. So Kate and I are just going to do it ourselves, but it's already on the docket. That's next Wednesday, the 8th. And then something new. I don't normally do this many sales, but on March the 15th, I'll get it on the docket sometime tomorrow so you can bookmark it. I'm doing a live sale. I need to clear out my purses. I want to do purses, some vintage clothing, jewelry, belts, accessories, scarves, that kind of stuff. No hard goods. And I'm bringing over 2 Glassy sisters. You guys might know them from Instagram or from their Whatnot sales. And Ashley's finally making it over Decade Alchemy. So we're going to do, again, I'll put it up pretty soon. They just gave me their pictures for the thumbnail. So that'll be March the 15th. But next Wednesday is already on the docket with Kate. And that'll be mostly kitsch and vintage. You guys know Kate. Kate brings the kitsch. She's like the kitsch queen, if you ask me. So please, I know a lot of you, this is the first time you might be meeting Regina. But I've been a follower for about 2.5 years or so. And again, she doesn't post a lot because she works. But I hope you guys will sub and check it out. The Hump Day Hangouts, if you listen to them, those are hilarious. I don't know where you found Derek at. Does he work with you? Where did you find him at?
We just met online, just hanging out in reselling chats.
He is hilarious.
Yes.
Okay, you guys. Let me see. Do you have any fossil purses? I will look and bring that, Ruthie, and I will ask the girls in a message if they have any fossil purses to bring them. I've got some Michael Kors, Ananushka, some vintage, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I'll do a preview for you guys, okay? That's all, you guys. Thank you so much. I hope we answered enough questions. We'll do another one of these in about 3 months or so, okay? And in the meantime, I don't want to cover up Amy's pretty face. In the meantime, take Amy's advice and go find some booth talk forums on Facebook. I think I'm gonna whatever one's Amy's at is the one I'm gonna join.
Yeah.
So,
There's a couple good ones.
okay.
If I think about it later, I'll add you.
Will you put it in the comments for everybody? The ones you recommend. Put it.
Yeah,
so
I
you
can
guys
do that.
come back later tonight or tomorrow, and Amy will drop some names of the forums on Facebook, and we'll all go. We'll go raid and join. Okay.
I'll join.
Yeah. All right, you guys. I love all you guys, and as Regina would say, bye, beautiful people.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.